Hello and welcome back to the Everything in Racing podcast. We got a couple new guests on today, and Ernie unfortunately could not make it again. This is like his fourth in a row that he wasn't able to show up for. He was so proud of he had been showing up regularly. He was like, "Man, I'm so consistent. I need to be a bracket racer." Well,
big part-timer.
a big part-timer, man.
Yeah, well, he better step it up before I take his seat. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna have to find a new co-host at this rate.
20-minute drive. I mean, I gotta be here daily.
Until
you're sick of me.
Yeah, and I mean, Turbo John's right around the corner too. I mean,
there's some talent.
Bring the viewership right up.
There you go.
Right up. So, welcome, gentlemen. We got Turbo John and we got Logan. Welcome on, guys.
Turbo John.
Is that it?
Are we starting off with
We're starting
just a
off
rip
on
right
that.
there?
Yeah. I like him better.
Damn.
We got John Doc.
I'm out of here.
Look, he's a nice dude.
Turbo John?
Yeah.
Everyone around here, we got the best group of racers around, for sure.
Yeah.
But I am not Turbo John. Indeed.
You are John Doc.
I am John Doc.
From the John Doc YouTube channel.
That is it, yes, sir.
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you. We appreciate the invite, and we're glad to be here. I've been watching. I think I watched damn near all of them. So
Nice.
I'm a big viewer. I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but I watch all of your podcasts. I put them on to listen to them when we're in the shop working. And
Nice. So you're sick and tired of my voice by now?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say sick and tired. I do throw some tools every now and then, and you could be to blame, but, I like listening to it.
I never claimed to be smart. I just claimed that I could talk.
You got that down.
I've got that down.
I will say, good podcast. You do a great job.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I noticed you were in the comments one time when we had your son Chris on here.
Yep. He's part of we group him in the nasty racing camp. So I deal with Chris Pittman a lot, and I thought that was a good podcast as well.
Yep.
So another good one for you.
I may have said something snarky in that podcast about you being the king of micro records, and saw you pop up in the comments saying from the king of micro records you liked it. So.
Yeah, no, and listen, I'll own it because I have established and built kind of like somewhat of a career off of micro records, so I'll own it, and I'm tough to beat when it comes to micro records.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do something, be good at it, and I feel like I am the king of micro records.
Yeah. Well, we'll kind of walk through some of those. So, just as we start every podcast with everybody, John, what got you into this world of horrible financial decisions?
God, what did? I've been into cars my whole life. Grew up riding dirt bikes, had the RC cars, just loved it. Wanted to be a race car driver of some sort. Just happened to be that drag racing was like the most attainable, and I fell in love with it. First time I drag raced was 2013, Fayetteville, Freaky Friday. A lot of smoke in the air, not telling what it could be. It was about like 2 a.m. when I made my first pass, and I was hooked ever since. I think I went like a 16 something in the quarter. Fifth gen Camaro, manual, just giving it hell.
I guess about 82 miles an hour.
Oh, I couldn't even remember. All I know is when I got done, the line was so long, and the dude I raced smoked me some 5.0 Mustang, of course. And he's like, "Hell yeah, brother, we should do it again." He picks up a 6-pack. He's like, "You want one?" And I'm just like, "What is going on right now?" But no, that was my introduction to drag racing. I was hooked ever since, and since then I've always been just trying to go faster and faster and faster, and I think it's my addictive personality and my love for going fast that kind of got me into this financial nightmare, I guess.
Yeah. So I think the first time I ever heard of John Doc, you were still working at RPM up here.
Yeah, that's really where I got my start in like the aftermarket performance stuff. RPM Motorsports, I found them at Fayetteville. I was out there testing tune one day, had just bone stock car with like headers and exhaust, and the fastest car at the track, Miguel Watkins, red F-body, RPM Motorsports banner on the front window. I was like, whoever they are, I need them working on my stuff. So I ended up taking my stuff to RPM. They did a cam, and I was hooked ever since. Did a bunch of work with RPM. They built the Camaro, and that kind of like led, I guess, the somewhat legacy of that car, and really kickstarted my drag racing stuff. So I ended up being a customer there for a few years, and then after I graduated college, I came back and did some sales and marketing for them. And Jeff Short back there in the shop, who was just amazing, like late model GM performance fabrication, you name it. He really gave me my start into working on cars and teaching me and taking the time to show me stuff, and Ryan Robinson as well. And from there it was off to the races.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So what made the jump from like I'm guessing you had started the YouTube channel by that point as well?
Yeah.
Or?
So I started the YouTube channel in college. I was like, hey, I want to. It was before like drag racing YouTube was really a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why don't I make videos showing people what's really like racing a car? Like at the time, the car went like. So right when I first got the car back from RPM, like single turbo 88, pistons rods, LS on pump gas, made like 1,000 with a 400 in it. Went like 590s.
Was this before you went no time or?
Yeah, this was like this. Well, I came out the gate like no time. That's when like all the streetcar no time stuff. Like it was Horsepower Junkies was putting what was that? What was that event called back in the day? God, I can't remember what it is. HPJ put it on. I won it at Fayetteville, beat like Rick Crawford. So like they ran all like no time stuff. I shared times. I went like 9:30s in the quarter, and that was really like the start to everything. I was hooked, and from there it's just like never ending. Spent all my money with RPM. Worked for them, made some money, spent all my money there that I made. Spent it back on the car until I kind of went out on my own and did some other business ventures. But yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, you don't like the no time stuff? I'm getting a little.
Yes and no. It's weird for me. I was forced into no time. I guess is my only complaint about it. Is like, I really don't care. I don't care if people know my times.
I agree with that.
But my problem is that if I share my times, I get about 10 or 15 angry calls from different people saying, how dare you share your times because I raced next to you and someone might be able to guess my time based off of your time. And I'm like, look, we all have a phone, right? We all, or I don't even like need to film you going down. I can watch somebody else's video of you going down and pretty much figure exactly what you're running. So like, it's not that I don't like no time. It's that I don't like being forced into no time.
I kind of agree with you there because I would prefer, especially with what I do on YouTube, I'd prefer to tell times because it's a lot more relatable to people.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Like if I show my times, we can't run and
boot it for a year.
Yeah.
Get booted anywhere from a year.
Yeah, and that's where like my frustration is with the no time stuff is that it's either you're a no time racer or you're not.
In most of the guys running no time, like I can go up to a car and I can tell you what it should run. Whether they run that or not, that's like up to them. But I can look at all the parts on the car and I have a general idea of what it should run. I know like how much like my white car it weighs. I'll share a time. Are you ready for this? I'll share a time. It weighs 2,800 pounds with me in it. Is that what it weighs? 28 like 28
25
28.25 with me in it. We got some weight in it. They go 980 60 foots on a 275. So I know looking at all these other 275 cars, most of them are lighter than me. I know they should go at least that fast. I know a lot of them don't, but they're probably in that like 105 range, 110, 104. I know what they go. I know what they should mile an hour. I know like how big your turbo is, how fast you should go. So they're not really hiding anything. And it's just really, to me, it's like a disservice to the spectators because they want to sit there and they want to see that board light up.
Yeah, I mean that's why I really enjoy events like FL2K, TX2K, and World Cup Finals. They're time-shown event. It's quarter mile. It's not eighth mile, but it's all like it's relatable, right? You go, you're able to watch it and go, oh, that was really close, or yeah, that guy had a faster ET, but that guy had 10 miles an hour. That's why he was able to get ahead of him. Whatever.
Or it's like you look up at the board and someone like is hauling ass, and you're like, oh my god, they just went 205. Like people would lose their shit, but a lot of that's missed.
Yeah, like it's like in Pro Mod. Like Mark Mickey is a great example, right? He's running pretty close to the same time as everyone else, but he's doing 15 miles an hour on the field.
Yeah,
which is just like when you watch a pass like that, you're like, holy crap! Like, where did he find 15 miles an hour? It's because he's sacrificing a pair of turbos almost every time he goes down. But you know,
well, I mean, even like from the driving standpoint, I got cooked by Ziff in Darlington, and it was brutal from my seat. Like, I knew I drilled him on the tree. I left on him. I'm out, and we were just the combo on the car was not super happy. So I was just like trying to get to the finish line, and he nips me right at the end. And I wish I saw the boards light up because I knew how fast I went. And I'm like, damn. I was flying. Like, what did he just do? Like, he had the turbo had to spit the wheel out. Like, that thing was cooking, and no one really like. You just see the wind light, and that's it. There's like a lot more left to the excitement of the sport that is left out in no time. But around here, I mean, if you're not running no time, you're not racing.
Yeah. So that's more where my argument with no time is. It's like I have no problem with no time. I just hate that I'm forced into it.
I agree with that.
Because if I want to race, I have to do no time, and so now I have to keep my times secret.
Yeah.
Right. And YouTube especially. YouTube likes times shown.
100%.
You know, like I think Cooper Bogetti said that a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
His videos that he's done where it's a time shown do much better than a no time race.
No doubt.
You know.
No doubt.
And it's I
had a blast when we were in LDR. It was great. I mean, Logan would be up there on the start line when we set the micro record, the fastest hydraulic roller LS. They didn't have to wait to get the ticket. They're on the start line grabbing the camera from Flow Racing. What are you yelling in there?
I don't even recall, but
he blacked out.
I wish we could post some of the no times from back then because it was really rolling then. We had to add a little bit of weight to make some things in LDR, make it where it worked in there, and it was a very successful combination, but we're going to come for Kenny Dangler to rope for real this time.
So I guess if you've listened to a couple of them, you know I've harped on this a couple times too, of I don't believe that a no-time racer should be allowed to claim a record in something.
If
right?
in like a no-time event.
Yeah, if you're at a no-time event, you can't, like, so going out there, like, you had the hydraulic roller record.
Yeah, but we did it in LDR with time show.
Yes, but I'm saying before you did that, before times were shown, you saying, I am the fastest, provably. It's like, well, not provably, because none of us can see it.
Yeah.
And you're going, I've got a time slip here, and it's really fast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, see, for the record, though, we never claimed to have the record until we won it in LDR. Mm-hmm. So we had set the hydraulic roller horsepower record, which, honestly, the horsepower stuff's bogus.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say it.
You can manipulate it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. But, like, use it as a tuning tool. That's really all it's used for.
Mm-hmm.
But the horsepower numbers, whatever. But the times, like, we were kind of in that same boat where it's like we knew we couldn't go and just show a time in a no-time event.
Yeah.
Just because then you get it's that bad rap, and then it's kind of like no one wants to run with you, and there's a lot of collateral that comes with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wish a lot of racing would go back to time shown racing. You know, because also what that does, from what I like in time shown, at least, as when I'm in competition with a bunch of other guys, is I know what I'm aiming for, right? It's not some nebulous number out there of, hey, I need half a second. I can just look at it and go, no, I need a tenth of a second, you know, to run with that guy that I'm next to.
Yeah, and you miss out on qualifying, too, which I think is a cool part of it. Like, no time goes up and makes shakedowns. Like, what do you want to make 4 shakedowns? And everyone's like, oh, he looked fast. Oh, he knocked tires off. Like, if you qualify and then if you get a reward for running fast and qualifying, you know, you get to run the slowest guy if you're the fastest. Like, there's something to that. I wish, like, the Thursday night deal that we were doing at Galat, if they did that qualifying and, like, stip the rules better to make it, like, a close race, dude, pack the house. But they're just around here, it's like you said, you show no time once, you can't race.
Yeah. Yeah, although it was a very good turnout for the first 28s. I'm not sure about how this month's going to go just because it's going to be so darn hot.
Yeah.
I think probably in the fall it'll do better. Actually, I just had Josh Peak on the podcast.
Yep.
It'll be coming out as of recording it this week, but when this comes out 2 weeks ago. So
great.
Go check out that episode.
Great
Card
dude.
up above.
Josh, great dude.
Yeah. I really like the leadership he's been bringing to Galat this last year.
Yeah, and he wants to do more stuff. Like, I was messaging him the other day. We just did Hot Rod Power Tour, and they had autocross. I'm like, hey, can we do autocross out at the track? He's like, yeah, let's do it. Like, just the openness and willingness to try things. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I like. I've been talking to him about adding a streetcar class to the 28s shootout. You know, something simple rules. And I think I even saw you jump in the comments saying you'd love to see that. You know.
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
Big streetcar guy.
Yeah, you know what? So you might not like the rules that I had sent to him, because my thing is I like simple rule sets. You know, leave it wide open so a bunch of guys can get in it, but have at least a couple concrete rules that it's like, if you just don't meet this, sorry, you're not in. So, and my big one for streetcar is weight, right? You shouldn't have a 2,800 pound car getting into the streetcar class, right? So
100%.
sorry, Fox bodies, you're out.
Yeah,
you're not gonna fit. I think the weight I sent in was 3,700 pounds, right? That's heavy, but most
How
of
much
your
lead we got? We got enough?
We got 400 pounds of lead in the trailer. I'll make it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because most of your daily driver streetcar class, what I would call true streetcar class cars, are in that 4,000 to 3,600 pound range.
Like real street cars,
Like
not someone that calls it a street car and just runs it one time.
Yeah, exactly, and that is my goal. And you know, part of it is also, if you're going to do a cruise, actually do the cruise.
100%.
Or at least do the idle in the lanes.
Yep.
Like 15 minutes, start your car, step away.
I'd rather cruise than idle. Screw that.
Well, I agree. I'd rather cruise than idle too. But it's one of those like, what I know a lot of times for Streetcar Takeover, like that's coming up this week,
Yep.
they don't do it because it's 107 degrees. So honestly, I kind of agree with that.
Yep.
It's so hot, you're just going to melt everybody's stuff,
Mhm.
right? But I've been at too many streetcar events where it's just like, oh, well, we got kind of busy. We forgot about it. We're not going to do it. And it's like, I know that guy couldn't get through it.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you might, some of the stiff competition might not be able to make the cruise. That's part of that class.
Yeah.
So you got to do that. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So tags and insurance, obviously. And then I think the other one was a DOT rated tire.
Mm-hmm.
Not stamped. So like a bracket radial or a pro radial, those are stamped.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not rated. So it has to be like an ET Street R, ET Street SS. There's Hoosier mix a couple of them, you know, and that again helps to get race cars out of there.
If you want a real streetcar class, show up with your streetcar.
Yep.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
We ran that. Hank was our streetcar. But that was an actual streetcar. Like, we were driving that all over Myrtle Beach, idling around.
Mhm.
We drive it. I mean, I drove it to my
John used to
girlfriend's
drove
house.
it up here all the time.
Yeah, my
Literally
girlfriend,
every
she used
week.
to live in Clayton, so I would drive it up here.
Mhm.
Real deal streetcar. Identified as a race car, though.
Mhm.
You know, it had the turbos up front, the radiator in the back. Kind of gutted.
Yeah.
Wouldn't fit your rules because it was too light. But
Yep.
you know, I called it a streetcar. But I mean, if you're gonna, the biggest thing that I see with rules is if you're gonna make a class, you got to keep it around
Mhm.
and you got to give it time. Like, people come out with classes as a low car count, and then the class is gone. Like, give
Mhm.
people time to modify their cars to fit the rules. But you gotta make an effort. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people try it and quit. Try it
Yeah.
and quit.
Well, or they make a class,
Mhm.
right? One or two guys run away with it, and then the next year they change all of the rules. They keep the class, but change all the rules to get that one or two guys out of it.
Mhm.
And now nobody wants to do it because, you know, it's like, well, I've got to change my car again.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, nah, I'm just not gonna.
Yeah, and there's
not
something
gonna
to be
do it.
said if someone comes out and does their homework and just has a combo that is
Mhm.
just dominant. Like, if the rules are good rules, I mean, and they're dominating, I mean, that's their hard work showing off.
Mhm.
I'm not a big fan of like kicking people out of a class or like trying to rule people out of classes. I'm like, let them race. You know,
Yeah.
it's very rare that the fastest car wins. Honestly,
Yeah.
like, you show up to the racetrack, it's very rare. More or less than often, the fastest cars breaking out, spin the tires. I mean, there's so many factors
Mhm.
into it.
It's I said it last time when I was talking with Pro Mod Randy. Honestly, I think in at least my situation that I was in, right, where I got ruled out of a class, I was like, I honestly would have preferred it if the promoter just come up and said, hey man, you're running away with the class.
Mhm.
Would you please just move up to the next class?
100%.
If he just came up and said that to me, honestly, I'd respect it a whole lot more than we're going to change the entire class to screw you over.
Yeah.
You know, me and one other guy were, you know, it's supercharged nitrous setup. You know, both of us were just running away with the class.
Yeah.
You know,
That ain't
how it
your
was.
fault, though. If you
No.
fit the rules and you guys get
Yeah.
faster, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I broke my car anyway, so it didn't matter. You know, but
I mean, his rules sound pretty good for the cow to come back out of retirement.
yeah,
Yeah,
that'd
yeah.
be y'all's worst nightmare, let me tell you.
oh no, not with what I'm setting up.
Oh, let me tell you. That thing's been sitting for, God, how
Yeah,
many years?
What? So okay, there's a question. Why is the Camaro still sitting there? Because let's be honest, it is probably one of the fan favorites.
One
So-
fuel line away.
I'm one fuel line away from
Yeah, but it's
being
been
on.
one fuel line away for years.
Yep. So the cow is definitely a fan favorite. It kind of like, I wouldn't say bothers me, like irks me a little bit that the cow is such a fan favorite because that's the car that I've put the least amount of physical work in, right? So
Do you
it's
want to
like,
know why it's the fan favorite?
let me hear it.
Because it is the most relatable. I cannot relate to Slick Rick or Black Sheep. I can't.
No, I get that.
Right?
I get
The
that.
Camaro is achievable,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And it's one of those, especially for like my level of racer,
Mhm.
right? We look at that and go, man, if I work hard enough, I could probably go race that car and probably beat it.
No,
Right?
he's wrong there. You can't beat it. You could race it, but you ain't beating the
Oh,
old girl.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
knock the dust off her.
We'll,
but
we'll see.
to
But
answer your question, why is
Yeah.
the cow sat for so long? All right. It has some great updates from Her on Speed. John over at Her on Speed, great dude,
Mhm.
badass turbo kits. Did R&D on a single turbo kit for him, so that's why it was down a little bit. But before, even when it was running, I didn't really race it much. I live in fear of breaking the axles in it. Like, no lie, I'm terrified. They're like $2,000 to replace them. The drive shaft shop people don't like me anymore because I've broken so many. They quit warrantying them, and then I argue with them that they should stand by their warranty. Just because I break them, it's not my fault. And we've gotten to some like email confrontations. You remember those days?
Yeah.
It was spicy, but the car is just heavy, and I mean, to me, I think it was kind of like ahead of its time as far as how fast it went. Like early on, like 7 years ago, it was going like real deal street car. Like Daily drove this thing. It was going like 520 7 years ago.
Drove it back and forth to college every day.
That was like my daily. So I was proud of that. It really hasn't gotten any faster since then. I can't go faster because I will break the axles in it, and I don't really have the desire to cut it up into a race car, put a straight axle under it or any of that. No one makes like a good bolt-in kit, so it's just like custom fab. If I back half it, I'm like, well, I got a tube front end it, then I'll put a good motor in it, and it just like snowballs. So I'm just like, well, if I just leave it there, it's still like very close to like its original build, and it's not costing me any money. I'm not breaking the axles at any point in time. I can put that fuel line on it, fill it up with fuel, and drive it. So it's my girlfriend's favorite car, so she got a 5th gen Camaro. My plan is I'm going to put it back together. She's going to drive. She's going to race hers and get used to driving it, and then she'll probably step into that to get faster.
Like a stepping stone.
Yeah, except I'd rather kick your ass than kick your girlfriend's
That's
ass.
going to be worse because I'm going to have so much more time to think about all the shit I can talk when she busts your ass.
There you go.
But that's, I mean, the reason that it doesn't run is fear.
Believe me, I understand. I've snapped 3 sets of axles.
It's not fun.
No,
it really isn't. In the IRS stuff, it's like, no matter how good of an axle, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Honestly. I think at one point we had gone through like 7 sets, and they're like, "Oh, we got the wrong measurements for your car." But
Dude, it was. I mean, I literally put them in, go to the track Thursday, and snap them. I went like, I mean, that thing used to be it was 4,100 pounds, like dead ass. That's how heavy it was. Like full interior, chromoly 12-point cage or like 850 cert cage.
Speedometer still comes up on the dash display, everything.
And like we were out there going like 116 60 foots with it, like riding wheelies and shit, like that heavy with those axles. I mean, I've knocked the teeth off the ring gear. Like it's been hell. Good car, lots of memories. Got my start. Wouldn't change a thing about it, but it doesn't really do it for me anymore.
Yeah,
So
I know Gavin from It's Just a Six gets frustrated because he's still got the black car, right? And he tries all these other cars and gets a couple thousand views, 10,000, maybe 100,000 views on a video. Black car comes out, million views.
Yeah,
and he's just like I don't want to race it anymore. And it's like, no, that's what we wanted to see.
Yeah,
I don't care about you being cool, because I got a GTR now. I got a McLaren. No, I want to see the stupid Mustang go and race down the racetrack.
Yeah, I get it. So selfishly, I do YouTube 100% for me, which is like some people are shocked when they hear that, but when I make my YouTube videos, I make them for the premise of in 10 years when we go back and watch this, it'll be cool, or in 5 years when we're doing whatever, it'll be cool, or in 15 years or 20 years I could show this to my kids. Like I don't do, and like some of my videos get terrible views, some of my videos get great views. I don't care. I'm doing it for me, and I think that's what a lot of people like. Are like, man, we want to see the cow. We'll watch more if you put the cow up there. I'm like, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys watching. And I'm thankful for every subscriber and supporter and people that buy my merch. Love it. Wouldn't change a thing about anything. But I make every YouTube video every single day. And I do that. I'm like, what would be cool? Like, what would I be okay with watching 10 years and be like, well, this is what I did today. And that's kind of the thought behind it, which is like weird because everyone else is like making YouTube like, oh, I want to try to make money off YouTube, or I want to do this for YouTube, or I want to get famous off YouTube. And I'm just like, yeah.
If you want to become famous off of YouTube, people can tell, and they're not going to watch your stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Garrett Mitchell, Cletus McFarland, great example there, right? He didn't start this to become famous. He started this because he's an idiot kid doing redneck jokes, right? And it just turned into something. Now, he took the ball and he ran with it, and he's doing amazingly with that, But, it's if he seems like he's genuinely having fun, and that's why people like to watch him.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's out there being a goofball, having fun. He's got a good cast of characters around him that are all funny, right? And that's why people like it.
Yeah. Like true entertainment.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of why It's Just a Six has kind of fallen off, because everyone kind of smelled.
It's like this.
I'm just trying to be cool and sexy, and it's like, you're not.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I guess that's like with my channel. Like, I just wanted to race cars, and I want to be a race car driver. So like I built all these race cars, and I just want to drive them. That's like it. You know, like I want to work on them. I want to learn how to build motors. I want to learn the whole process of it. I just want to do it and then document it and post it so I can watch it later. Opposed to like, hey, what video would get really good views? And it's like, honestly, YouTube, it's like so confusing to me because I drove my white car, Slick Rick. I drove it to the gas station like 2 blocks away. Video got like damn near 2 million views. And I filmed it like, I'm like, hey, I'm going to drive this to the gas station quick. So what do? We just put...
Well, it's like the Pro Mod through the drive.
Put the motor in it.
You know?
Just like 30 minutes of goofing off. Like we just put the motor back in this. I'm like, hey, I think it runs good. Let me drive it to the gas station quick. Put a heat cycle on it. I pull my phone out. I film driving down the road like this. That's the video. I'm like, how does this get damn near 2 million views? And like, we'll have
Versus something with like 10 cameras and everything involved in it. It's like crazy.
I did that video with Phil. Phil, my homie, strap him in the passenger seat, give him a plate of McDonald's and a glass of water, and let go of the button. Shit going everywhere. I thought that was going viral.
I did too. I thought that was going to be a good one.
Nothing. YouTube. Just like 20,000 views, which I mean isn't bad, but like when I look at it, I'm like making it, I'm like, dude, this is going to go. Like every single thing went perfect. Like amazing reaction, video went great, amazing camera angles, edited great, perfect, no views. Drive to the gas station like this, 2 million.
Or like we were joking around at the shop one day and we were like, oh, we're going to put a chest cam on and go to the track. Literally driving a toter with no CDL got like 100,000 views over just holding a camera on our chest, just driving to the track.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Well, it's you know, generally for me when I'm looking for YouTube car stuff, right? You know, sometimes I'll just scroll through it real quick just to see where the interesting stuff is in the video, right? And if I can see it's a talking video where just like the guy just talks to the camera the entire time, I'm like, not interested.
I'm right there with you.
You know, I'm like, no, get to the good stuff where I can actually like see the cars you're working on.
Yep.
You know, you're at the track racing. You know, hopefully make it past round 1 more than once.
Oh, you should have seen. Nice. Were you watching the videos when we were knocking the tires off for a year straight?
I was getting very frustrated with you.
You didn't have to ride with us.
Yeah. Talk to that guy about it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, like I work all day and then like we'd go to the track and we knock the tires off all day and then I'd drive us back home at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning and get up and go to work at 5:30 in the morning. And it was a lot of lonely nights.
It was.
And it's amazing to see like people that are around whenever you're successful versus whenever you're around when you're not successful.
Yep.
Everybody wants to ride the boat when everything's going good, but nobody wants to be on it when it's going terrible. And
I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't approach you guys during that time because I could see you were frustrated, and I was like,
I was good.
I'm not going to poke the bear.
I was good. It was Logan. I was like, hey, next pass. Every time I got in that car, next pass, this sucker's going down. I feel it. And it was not. It was not. We got really good doing 2 burnouts, though. Let me tell you. We did that first one. It was nice and smoky, and the second one, real quick. It was rough. It was a rough time, but it was like a stepping. Like, you got to learn. I learned a lot during that, you know, and a lot of people hated watching the videos, but most people that are knocking the tires off and struggling, they're not posting that on YouTube or Facebook or anything. You just don't see it. I keep it real.
And I think a lot of people will give up on it if things aren't going good. But I can say one thing about us: we'll test until we're blue in the face. We'll change things, whatever it takes to be successful. What we're going to do.
Spend all our damn money.
All our money, homework, hell, splitting bills, getting back from races, fuel wise. I mean, people don't understand the amount of effort that goes into one program. Like a lot of people might see something on the front side, but we try to show things behind the scenes too.
No, there was a time where when Logan and I were racing, we were splitting fuel going to and from the racetrack.
Yeah,
it was real. It was real. It was tough.
Yeah.
Now not so much, but
yeah. Big money John over here. He's got to foot the bill, right?
Yeah, now he does.
Yeah.
I still foot it whatever it takes. John knows.
We just sent this car to the chassis shop, and I took Logan's turbo and his headers. I said, "Hey, I'm using this." And he knows he ain't getting paid for that.
That's all right. It's part of it, you know. I think that's another big thing. People think that if you're involved in a racing program, it ain't always about being paid, man. There's a lot of other benefits to it. I mean, everybody around our shop's like a big family.
A lot of people that
you
put in a lot of work.
call people in the middle of the night. You text this guy, do this. Scott's been a key roller in our program. Mason's been pretty good, even though he can't get up in the mornings.
He's better now. He's better.
He's getting better.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize like a race program, especially like of our magnitude, it takes a team of people to do anything successfully. And we're super fortunate. We got a bunch of awesome guys. Work really hard. Don't really look at the clock. And that's something that's like rare. It's like we'll just work until the work's done.
Yep.
And we get it done, and I really wouldn't want to be racing with anyone else. We got like the right people in the right places. And that was when we were struggling, we did not have the right people in the right places, and that's my fault. You know. So when we were knocking the tires off, that's on me, buddy. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Well, it's, you know, I've got my little team around me, you know, Nick and Frey, they come with me to the track all the time, you know, and it's, you know, on Test and Tune, we kind of split duties up, you know, and everybody's kind of doing everything. You know, on race day, everybody's got their job, you know, and I don't know how you guys have it set up, but for me, it's my job is to get the car down the track and to give good data to Nick and Frey when I get back to the trailer. Other than that, it's get out of their way. You know, that car is their car. They're just letting me take it down. Now, when we're done, it goes back in my garage. I make all the changes we got to make, and I get it ready for the next race.
Yeah, and that's how it's got to be. Like, I was trying to tune and drive at the same time, and I couldn't do it. So I drive the car. I relay the information, just like you said. I pack the parachute. I give it a good once-over before, you know, we take it back up there. Logan's doing his part. Mason's doing his part. Cedar's doing his part. Scott's doing his. Scotty's doing his. Russell's doing his. I mean, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. Yeah, and you just got to, you know, have it set up where everybody has their duty. You know, we even made a whiteboard we carry in there, and we just write up, you know, Frey does this, Nick does this, Nick, you know, does this, you know, check tires, check fuel, check this, right? And then when they're done, they just check it off, and we know it's been done. I don't need to go back around and double check, right? Yep. They're both responsible adults, right? And if they do miss something, they own up to it.
That's perfect. You know, that's how it has to be. Yeah, like when we had CJ, I think, was out working, because I mean we all work. Like the race car stuff for us is like the side gig. We do like disaster relief and storm recovery work, and I have some other contracts that we do.
Yeah, I know it's made it quite difficult to get you on the podcast.
Dude, you have no idea. That's why my hair is gray.
Yeah. Oh no, I hurt myself. I threw out my back.
No, bro. All jokes aside, you should just came to the hospital and done it. We were right up the road here.
We were right up the road. I legit hurt my back. That was no joke. Anyone that has back pain out there, I feel for you. But no, I mean, it's when we had one guy not show up to the racetrack. Oh, it's like all hell breaks loose because everyone does the same exact thing every time. Now you're missing that one person that does that. You don't realize how important, like, putting fuel in the car and putting the cap on, making sure it's on tight, how important that is. And you let go of the button and the cap goes rolling by you down track. You're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Or overfilling it and fuel coming out the overflow and onto the track, you know.
Yeah.
Which, you know, as long as it's behind your tires, it's not a big deal, but it freaks out the track.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
100%. I mean, dude, there's when a car goes down track successfully, it doesn't leak or spill or nothing falls off, that's like a huge feat in itself. I don't think a lot of people get enough credit for how just much work goes into just getting down the track one time with nothing falling off, nothing breaking. That's a lot.
Yeah. Although I get, you know, at the level that I'm at now in like the fast roads, I get really frustrated at guys who don't have a diaper, don't have a belly pan, you know, don't have like the basic stuff to keep stuff together so that when the car goes kaboom, it's not oiling down the track for 3 hours.
Why are you laughing at me? What do you mean? I run a belly pan on most of my cars. The ones that don't have a diaper. What are you laughing at?
Yeah, that was an upgrade recently.
Yeah, before I never had that shit on there. No, I was living life on the edge. But we did a good job, knock on wood. We kept all the parts inside the motor. So, I mean, we weren't those people. But it is very frustrating because if everyone takes like just a little step just to be cautious and courteous for everyone else, it's a much smoother day for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like Streetcar Takeover, right? That's one of my favorite races, right? I know that they can't, but I kind of wish that they would ban the Subaru, you know, Boxer drivers and the Honda Civic guys, right? Yep. Because I love them. Those guys are great drivers. They're hysterical, right? But guaranteed, at least 3 of them are going to let either the transmission go or the engine go, and they're going to drive the entire track down to the end.
Yep.
You know, before they even noticed that something was wrong.
Without a doubt. It's guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed. It's going to happen. You know, so in an already tight day, now you're going to have about a 4-hour shutdown between the 3 cars.
Oh, they're never getting that race done, ever.
Yeah.
You just got to accept it going there.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because it's a great event, huge turnout, bunch of people, great facility. It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I won the trophy from our class last year. Not because I won the class outright, but because we got down to 3, split the check, and tossed for the trophy.
Oh my God!
You know, so that. But the trophy's awesome, though. I'll be honest. It is like a beefy, heavy piece of metal.
No, I'm sure they don't give out a lot because they never get to a winner. They just split all the time. Like, oh, we'll give it on the next time. You know, like you got the rare trophy.
Did you know they have like a whole points series and everything?
I did hear about. Yeah. Didn't Farlow win it one year? Farlow went to a bunch of them.
I think Farlow won it 2 years ago, I believe.
Yeah.
So to be eligible for the points series, you have to go to 5 streetcar takeovers in a season. And I think they host now like 15 a year. Now,
they're all over.
They're all over the place, right? But they put the schedule out there far enough ahead that if that's something you wanted to do, you'd be like, okay, we're in February we're going to go to Florida and go to Bradenton for that event, and then we'll go to Bristol and then Charlotte.
I think Derek Kelly won it 1 year also.
Yeah, doing the same thing. Around here is not a bad location because they did Darlington 1 year, Rockingham, ZMAX.
Yeah,
I mean that's
3 right there.
Yeah, that's
Maryland.
Which I was talking to Dan Van Horn about getting them back, and he was like, well, maybe we'll have something like Streetcar Takeover. And I was like, no, I want Streetcar Takeover.
Yeah, no, it's a big. I mean, the turnout that they have. I mean, every time they go to the track, they have a big turnout.
Yeah.
So.
And they have a good group of guys running the place. They are always friendly to us
Yep.
and always stop by, check if we need anything. I mean, that's the biggest thing is looking after your racers. If you want people to come back, that's a big thing.
Yeah, we was it Streetcar Takeover when we wrecked the Bad Apple out there?
Yes, it was.
Yep.
Yeah,
retired that thing.
They reached out after to make sure everything, which is like a small gesture, but a very nice gesture to show that they care. They reached out and said, "Hey, is everything all right?" We're like, "Yeah, everything's good. Appreciate that."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
R.I.P. the Bad Apple.
Yeah. R.I.P. the Bad Apple. Yeah.
New one gonna be bad though.
Yeah, new one's nice. One's nice.
Way nicer chassis.
Yep.
There you go. Oh man, where do we go from here?
We just went off on the longest tangent ever.
Yeah. So Logan, how'd you get hooked up with John here?
There was this one time I was a little kid, and they came to this food line, and I worked at Food Line. No, I'm just pushing.
Hey kid, you want some candy? I got a white van out there.
All jokes aside,
I need you to help me find my puppy.
I've been around drag racing since I was like 10 or so years old. I have a pretty good background in it, from pro mod racing to running an organization called Extreme Outlaw Pro Mod back in the day. The guy from it, he passed away, and some stuff got split the wrong ways. If not, I think it would have still been around today, but that's just my opinion, of course. I was out there at John's LS Nasty race, I want to say, and down there with John Gorey, and we went out there and pretty much wiped up the whole crowd at that race.
We didn't have a car in that class, just saying. If we did, we probably would have beat John Gorey. But we weren't at that level yet. We had like the cow and the boosted rooster. So
I'll come back to
all right.
My man John, I'll give it to him. They had just bought the Black Sheep, and they contacted me about coming by and servicing it. I came by and I was like, "Yeah, you got a piece of junk motor." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "The dude paid like $7,000 for this Hemi." And he's like, "Yeah, but it can be nice." And I'm like, "All right." Well, we started testing a little bit, and it was the world.
Time out real quick. I just want to say this: the first time Logan came to the shop,
broke a rocker arm.
Snapped a rocker arm in half in front of me, and I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Just snapped it. Like, tried to take it off with spring pressure on it, and it cracked the bitch in half. I didn't have spares, so I was like, Logan's like, "Oh yeah, we'll just put another one on there." It's the first time Logan came to the shop ever, so that was my introduction to Logan. So we were right there. We were just connected for life. Because I'm like, "You owe me one aluminum rocker arm for a fathead Hemi." So that was it. But no, Logan came by to help with. I have no knowledge. I only knew the LS platform, so we just got a Hemi. Logan had experience with the Hemi, and then he never left since.
Yeah, pretty much got roped in there, and then
just keep showing up.
We started.
Can't get rid of them.
Oh yeah, we started testing and doing some things with it, and I think we went to 4 or 5 outings with it, just testing it, getting it figured out, and then I go overseas. Used to go overseas for a month every year, and I was over in Italy, and they're like, "Hey, this thing's losing boost out the back, like 8 pounds or 10 pounds, I think." And I was like, "Sounds like a valve spring issue." And they took the motor apart, and that thing was a jalopy.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was so like we took it all apart, and it wasn't even worth fixing. The whole thing, whole billet Hemi, top to bottom, junk.
So that's when the Sheep actually ended up with the LS combination. The first combination was out of a streetcar. It was literally a streetcar motor that we went out there and went 430s with like it was a bracket car. And we took it to Piedmont and expired it. And it had, probably 30 runs on it?
Yeah, it was a rapid, unscheduled disassembly, a RUD. And,
I'm familiar with those.
yeah, they are not fun, believe it or not.
No.
Yeah, you can destroy, like, a whole motor with the stroke of a keyboard. It's crazy. You wouldn't think it's just like a magic trick. You're like, whew, done.
And people don't realize, like, at the time we're out there racing, John had like $4,000 saved up for this motor that we put together a motor for, I think it was like $7,000 total, but he had like $4,000 is all he had. And we're sticking this thing together to go race. And we go to the next race, expires again. And we're like...
Well, that one was no one's fault. We had a MSD CDI box failure. It was something went wrong, and brand new motor, fourth pass, destroyed a cylinder head, torched the block. I almost ended my racing career right then and there. But
there was a lot of long nights following that. I don't think people realize, like, John here has progressed vastly ET wise in like no time, because like we look back 4 years ago, my man was going 5.0s, 5 teens, and jumped to 470s and jumped to 460s, and he went from 460s to 430s in one weekend, and he hasn't missed a beat since then. He's always improving. And like I tell everybody, he's a very talented driver. If he was racing NASCAR, people would want him because he can come back and tell you, like, hey, something's wrong with here, something's wrong there. He's very relatable on what's going on with the car. I don't know if it's because it's got him by the balls or what, but...
Except my right's to left. I get them mixed up all the time.
He's like, yeah, it was going left. Thing was pointed way right, but he was going left all right. He was steering to the left, or he was steering to the right. And a lot of people think that John's just a peckerhead, but it's just his personality. He's just likes to joke up and make fun and have a good time. And like I said, he's progressed at a very fast pace compared to most racers. Most racers go from like 520s to 5 teens, 5.0s, 490s, and a lot of people don't understand the feat from going 5.0s to 490s. Like I'm feeling that majorly right now. I've been punched in the nose about 100 times by a 5.0, and I'm just like, Jesus. And no, it's just like I tell people, John's an excellent driver. I'd put him in anything just because he will figure it out, and he doesn't like overthink or put too much mindset into driving. He's very simple. It takes a lot to get him riled up, but he's very calm inside the car itself.
Have you ever managed to beat James Tall on the tree?
Oh, I'd lop his head off anywhere.
I hear he's deadly on the tree.
Nah, he's damn decent. Maybe decent. I mean, you can clip this and send it to him.
I'm definitely going to clip this, but...
He's decent at best. I'll give him that. I put a new button. I swear to you, I put a new button in that white car.
It's magic.
I have to put a delay box in it. I have to put a delay in the Holly, because that thing... I went like 3 weeks. I went 00 every single light, and then I went 001 like how many times in a row. And I'm like, I get out the car, I'm like, man, we got to slow this down.
Probably 5 or 6 times.
We got to slow this down.
Then red lights first round.
Yeah, listen, I've been saying we need to slow it down, though, and no one listened to me. See, I can relate the information. Whether they take it, that's on them.
We did catch a guy one time. We were running a 590 class, so that was the fastest you were allowed to go. Basically, there was no rules past that, like DOT tire, full interior, stuff like that. And part of the rules was you couldn't have a delay box, and you couldn't have one of those, like, ones that, sets the car off itself when it sees the light go.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's called, right? And we had this one guy, he showed up to the last 2 races, and he was cutting, like, 001s, like, every single time. And we're like, he's got something in there. So I sent Frey down with our camera, where there's a big flash on it. And I said, hey, when both lights are lit, or when he gets his fully lit and I get my first one, bang it, set off that camera, right? He set off the camera, and that car took off.
No way.
And I was just like, you cheater. He
had a photo cell.
I'm not like that. I guess I've been getting lucky, or that car reacts really fast.
The white car does react very fast, but I can truthfully say, like, a lot of people try different things, but them buttons that I think Devin turned them on to us.
Yeah, when we put it in the car,
They're
I was like,
killer.
This button's a piece of shit. It's not what I have. Take it out. He's like, just try it. And I've been switching them over in all the cars.
Mhm.
It's like this big, like, billet adjustable button. Bad to
Mhm.
the bone.
Nice.
Highly recommend.
You can
So I think
adjust the rate and everything in it.
I went out there when I raced Jason at Galat.
Mhm.
That was like, we made one shakedown in the car, and I'm just coming off a red light. So I'm like a mental midget, low key, from like my golf days. My dad used to call me mental midget, and I still can't shake it. And so I'm like just thinking about this red light. So I'm like, all right, just go like, I know I got them covered. I'm like, just go like a 250 on the tree, and you'll just run them down. It'll be fine. So I'm like, all right. So I grab the button, bump in, and I'm like, all right, 250, here we come. I see the light. I see it's green. So normally I'm dead late, 'cause normally I don't see the green. I'll see the red, but I won't see the green. I let go of the button. I'm like, drove right down and through. Perfect. Everything went good. Go to grab the ticket. I'm like, it's going to be like a 190 light. It was like an 040 light. And I'm like, damn, like, what? I'm literally not trying.
I'm not trying to kill the light.
That button is serious. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, my last race I did in that 590 class, it came down to the tree
Mhm.
between me and the guy I was racing, Justin Taylor. He got me by .015 on the tree and got me by .015 at the end. And we had the exact same mile an hour and ET.
Drag race right there.
Like we we just both took off, and mine was like 090 and his was like an 075. And it was just, we just stayed right next to each other the entire way down. And
You're just like looking at him the whole time.
yeah,
like,
we're just like, just like, who's gonna lift? Who's gonna lift? Neither of us lifted,
oh my God.
And it was just like oh. And
That's
yeah.
good racing, though. That's really
It
good
is.
racing.
I prefer to lose that way
Yep.
than just to be like totally outrun or at a red light and
Yeah.
beat myself.
100%. No, I get that. And that's like, we talked about that, like with that class at Galat, we brought the white car out there, which it did fit the rules. I know some people are like, well, it doesn't fit the rules. It fit all the rules, whether some of them were like gray areas or not. It still fit them. It had factory style front suspension. It wasn't a tube chassis car. What else did it need to have? It wasn't a tube chassis car. It's got frame on it,
Some,
but that's what
it's
like,
zip tied.
but that's what can like what dictates a tube chassis is having no frame. So it did have frame in it. It was like, it still had the VIN on it. I mean, and that's like a killer right there, having a VIN
Stock
tag.
firewall.
Stock firewall.
Yeah, but doesn't
It doesn't have
doesn't
it
doesn't
doesn't
that freaking GTR that freaking what's his name Odin run? It has a VIN number on it too, but that thing.
Well, what got me in was the factory style front suspension. If it was factory location front suspension, I'm out. But factory style, third gen Camaro comes with a strut front end. That's a strut front end. Is it an aftermarket strut? Hell yeah, it is. But if they said factory location, I'm out because it doesn't have the factory strut tower. So
Yeah.
the way you word the rules, technically it fit. But we're probably gonna bring like the black car out there because it like is way shittier of a car. And even though it does have like a screw blown Hemi in it, it's like, maybe, is it more bark than bite?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's got full frame rate all the way through. Still has the stock headliner all in it. All
Factory
stock
floors.
plastics, stock floors.
Fits better, like scare less people off. Make
But
better
even
racing.
even after that last race, we got another car. So if they give us too much hassle with the black car, we can stick the red one in there. Boo thing.
Well, so actually, that Nova that you raced, he got kicked out of a race one time because that thing's just loud. Right? It's
Yeah.
got the zoomies on it, and he got kicked out of the race because the car was too intimidating. By that's what the promoter said. He said you can't be in it because it doesn't fit the spirit of the rules because it's too intimidating.
John was over there about to rub himself out inside
Dude,
the car.
I'm a
He let
sucker.
he let him listen to Fire It Up before he even started up. He just wanted to sit
I'm
there
a
and listen.
sucker for a blower.
Oh,
I'm a
dude.
turbo guy at heart.
Yeah.
Blower car, you can't beat that.
Yeah,
It is so badass.
Yeah, it is. But honestly, my favorite part about watching it go down though is watching him do the burnout and watching like 4 or 5 guys lose their hats as he goes by, and just
That is the whole reason why
You have
we
zoomies.
that's the whole reason why we built the black car the way it is. Like, we're great with an LS. Put a big block and twins with it, be done. Put a Hemi with twins in it, be done. Be faster. Hemi, screw blower, cool.
Yep.
It could go slower. It will go slower, but it's just going to be so cool. I
Yep.
mean, go out there and just shoot people's hats to the moon and burn their eyeballs. Like, what's better than that?
Yeah.
Piedmont, I'm going to be knocking people over the wall. I'm going to
Now-
be swerving at them and shit. I mean, like, I swear, it's going to be so awesome.
There's no room to swerve out.
Oh, yeah. So as a racer, does it frustrate you when they let 1 million people stand up on the starting line?
Hell no.
Hell no, I'll hit them. I don't care. They will get out the way. I don't try to hit them, but if I hit you, you're not where you need to be.
We ran over probably, I know one race we ran over like 5 or 6 people with like either the quarter panel of the car where it kicks out and tags somebody, stuff like that. But it's just a whole different animal whenever you drive through literally 200 people on the starting line, do a burnout, and then they're all around the car swarming.
I prefer that
backing.
because like the energy is insane.
Yeah, I like the energy. What I don't like, though, is when I'm doing my burnout and I can see the alley is smaller than my car, and I'm going, who's paying for the body damage to my car when I hit 4 of them? You know, because like I have a line lock, you know, I do my burnout and I just let that line lock go and I roll through.
If you do them rolling, they'll get out the way faster. Trust me.
Yeah.
If you just never stop, then there's like grabbing their buddies and like pulling them. And
Yeah.
I mean, I hit them backing up every once in a while. I almost killed one of my crew guys, CJ. He's my boy, and he was out there. We were private testing, so everything's like laid back. He's out there in sandals, and I kicked the tires. So I go to back up, and when I back up like hella fast, cut the car off because I'm going to change tune-up. And he couldn't get off the racetrack, and Jeff Miles from Darlington literally saved his life. I was backing up like 40, about to smoke him. And CJ had been all right. Might have cut him in half. I'd had to put a new wing on the car, and that would have really pissed me off.
Yeah, I'd have folded that wing right on up.
But no, I mean, I think, did you go to the race we put on at Red Springs?
No, I've never been to Red Springs.
God,
I've been to one at Fayetteville before where literally I'm doing my burnout and I cannot see in front of the car. There's that many people. And, like, they got out of the way. But actually what frustrated me the most is when I did my backup,
Yeah.
people started on my car. And, like, I nearly got out to start yelling at people. But I'm like, I'm way outnumbered here. I'm going to, like, get my throat slit. But
I would not like that.
So that's like when John's backing up, I'll shove people out of the way just because I'm like, I got to be able to see to get my man straight. If not...
Well, my wife was trying to film, too, and they were pushing her out of the way. They weren't letting her up there to film. And, like, you can hear in the film her going, like, move, get out of my way. That's my husband. You know?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They wouldn't do it. You know, that's where it frustrates me. I'm like, look, that's too many people.
Yeah. No, I totally
Clear
get
it up.
that.
Give us a little bit of space.
I get that. But there's something. Do you ever go and watch, and you're just, like, right up on the car? It is a little bit cooler when you're right next to it.
I mean, that's all I'm doing this year because we're down for this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I personally love the crowded environment on the starting line. It's definitely a lot more dangerous. With the black car, we had a lot of bullhorn incidents where they clip people in the legs and stuff like that.
Those suckers were pretty sharp there, dude.
For some reason, the white car, they clear out. I think it's because it's, like, laid back more. I mean, I don't know.
We haven't got anyone. The only person we've got with the bullhorns on the white car is Scott Sublett, PIG Motorsports. Love him to death. He's pretty much in charge of, like, our engine program, like, at the shop. TK Performance does all machine work. Scott works on them and puts them together and maintenances them and does the health checks on them and everything. But every time Scott's at the shop, we will draw blood on those bullhorns. Mm-hmm. And I don't think anyone has, like, felt the pain of those more than Scott.
I think he just walks by and he's like, pokes himself.
He's just a magnet. I mean, it's the cost of looking good, though. You have to sacrifice something. So we will sacrifice Scott's shins all day long to look cool at the racetrack.
Yeah. Fuck you, Scott.
Yeah.
Literally. Scott knows he's good for it.
Yeah. What, man? You know, those are all decisions I have to make now. Because we're going twin turbo with the car, and so you know, we haven't got to the point where we're fabbing up the turbos yet. Mm-hmm. We're not at that step. I'm still waiting for the engine to get done. But, you know, they're like, well, do you want the, you know, don't want them out the fenders? Do you want it out the, you know, upper fenders? Do you want it out the hood? I'm like, I definitely don't want it out the hood.
Yeah, I agree with that. You probably don't like. The only person that likes them out the hood are the Young family, and they're just all crazy and hairy.
Shannon, Chase, Harry.
Like, I've been trying to get Shannon on here, and like he's mostly just ignoring my messages.
I'll get Shannon.
I guess he's too good to be on the podcast.
I was going to say, don't worry, we can get all of them on here.
Yeah. I think you have the whole family get the couch.
I've heard that before, and it still hasn't happened. So,
well, you have my word. Shannon will be on here.
Okay.
That will make that happen.
Shannon, you're on notice.
Yeah.
He's going to be bashing a lot of racers on here while he's on
I love it. And don't let Shannon fool you when he comes here. Like, I'm his daddy all day long. Like, Shannon might be quick with a small block forward, and it is cool. I'll give him that. But, like, I've been messing Shannon up for years with the LS stuff. I mean, dude, how many years have I been Shannon's daddy for? I think he beat me once at Galot when I spun, which was, like, one time. Other than that, like, I mean, he at one point, I think he was changing his name to Doc.
I'll be honest with you though. Shannon's put in some hours around the shop too. I mean,
that Nova is
Chase's
hooking and booking. Yeah.
And that's crazy because Logan's about to mess that up with Hank. Big Hank's going to the chassis shop tomorrow. Stock block. Like we had to go out because Chase was talking too much smack and dedicate a car just to whoop his ass.
Literally talk shit to me he talked shit to us in the group chat for days.
Yeah.
And we were like, all right, what are we going to do with this combo that we have sitting over here in the corner now?
We're going to mess up Chase.
Yeah, Chase and Todd.
Yeah, a bunch of people getting messed up. But Shannon, well, a lot of people don't realize, like me and Shannon, we're good buddies. Shannon is like been very influential in my drag racing stuff. I mean, when I didn't know a lot, I'm trying to go to the racetrack and I got something wrong. Shannon's at my shop at 3 a.m. the night before working on my car with me, trying to teach me, get stuff right so we can go to the track and have a grudge race the following night. If that doesn't tell you something about...
literally...
Well, I think that's the part a lot of people don't realize about drag racing, right? Is like we have rivals, right, in it, when we're at the track, when we're at the light, right? But most guys, we have a mutual respect for one another, right? And, you might beat me this round, but if you have a problem and you can't make it the next round and you need a part off my car, I'll rip it off my car and put it on your car so you can make the next round.
All day.
Every day. I mean, somebody needs something and we got it at the racetrack, we usually are willing to give it up to help see them succeed, even if we're racing them next round.
Everyone puts too much time and effort and money into it to let like some small thing stop them from their success.
Yeah, well, it's like Logan Pittman, right? Logan Pittman and I are rivals, right? Because we're always right there going back and forth with each other.
I'm his daddy also, just saying. I'm a lot of people's daddy. Sorry to interrupt.
It's
the cowed.
Yeah.
He got the cowed.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can talk about that. I know the race you're talking about. Two cars were not on the same caliber.
Oh, continue. I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah. I'm sorry.
But it's like I can point out at least 10 or 15 parts on that car that came off of mine.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like,
that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. It's like I don't want to see somebody else not be able to make the race because they didn't have one part.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
The first wheelie he ever did was on my tires.
Damn.
Which I gave him shit afterwards because it's the biggest burnout I've ever seen him do.
Damn, he was
borrowed
using them.
tires.
He was using them. He said he ain't getting nothing back.
Yeah.
Hey, let me borrow a set of your tires. I'll show you how to do a burnout.
I don't have any right now, so I sold them. So
I love me a burnout now.
Yeah. Logan will test the rev limiter for sure and clear it out.
Yeah.
It's like my son's out there driving because it's like you hit him with the rev after the burnout too.
Yeah,
and the little throttle whack
just not as aggressive.
And the throttle whack at the end of the burnout.
Yeah.
That's like my signature. Like to me, the most fun part of racing the car is to rev it and do the burnout. Because like, why would you not? Like you're in a badass car, makes a ton of horsepower. Like rev it. You think the motor cares about being revved? Hell no. The motors actually don't like to idle. That's like harder on them. When you build these big badass race motors, they don't want to sit there and idle. They want to be up in the RPM. It's better for them. So I rev the shit out of them all the time. People are like, you can't do that. You're going to hurt it. I'm like, this. You really think free revving this thing to 3,000 or 4,000 RPM is going to hurt it when it's about to go down track making 60 pounds of boost at 8,000 RPM? Hell no.
That's why I'm looking forward to my new Coyote I'm building.
You rev the shit out of it.
9,000 RPM.
Hell yeah.
That's between 9,000 and 9,250 is where we're going to shift that sucker at.
Hell yeah. That thing's going to be singing.
It's going to be singing.
And when they come apart, it's even more glorious at that RPM.
When mine came apart, it let all the water out of it.
See, that's no good.
Yeah.
That's no good.
Yeah, sideways at 130, 140-ish.
No
it was
good,
not that much fun.
We don't have to worry about that. We run most of our stuff methanol dry. Like, way more boring.
Yeah, I just, I do a lot of street stuff. Yep. So, methanol is not an option for me. And also, the boss has told me I can't run methanol in the car because she doesn't want me burning alive and not being able to tell.
Yeah, that's very valid points. My girlfriend Laura, she's like, she comes to the racetrack, she's got the headset on, and every time I look at the picture, she's a little bit further back. She's like, damn, I ain't getting that methanol in my eyes. The spicy air will get you on the start line.
Yeah.
So no, it's the methanol's a big jump. And there's a lot that comes along with it as well, like having the proper safety equipment and stuff like that. Shout out to Alliance Racewear. We're proud representatives of Alliance Racewear. They make the baddest stuff. So whenever you go racing, we'll get you a fire suit.
Okay. I mean, I've got a 5-layer or 10-layer.
If you're running E85, you need to go ahead and get a 15 or 20.
Yeah, they just changed the rules. E85 requires SFI 15 or greater.
I have to check mine. But
they're now categorizing it the same as methanol. So I think it's very high.
Well, it also depends on what E85 you're talking about, because there's some guys who are like, I'm running E85, and it's E100%.
Oh, yeah.
An E85 flex fuel that you get down at Sheets, which could be anywhere between 50 and 70%.
Well, I can tell you.
Never 80%.
When you're on fire, that fire does not care what fuel it is, nor do you. So I wear like an SFI 20 even when I drive like my simple street car shit. Like I got my girlfriend an SFI 20 suit for her to like start racing, because if you're on fire, Like my biggest fear of racing is fire. Like that's by far my biggest fear.
That has been one thing I've appreciated about your channel is you've always taken time for the safety stuff.
100%.
You know?
You have to.
And I mean, I've always followed the same rule of why own all the safety stuff and have it in the trailer.
I'd be so mad. I'd be so mad if I got in a wreck and got burned up and I was wearing because I got like a single layer suit. Like I can put it on and technically like the track will be okay with me going down. I catch on fire and I get all burned up and I got this badass suit that I knew would have kept me safe sitting in the trailer. I'm gonna spend my money on that. I'm gonna wear the hell out of it. And I wear my man's over here zip tying my crotch back together before we get in the car because I wore my old suit slam out. I mean, every time I get in the car, whether it's street car, race car, just going down track, I put my fire suit on.
Yeah. And a lot of times, like, people don't realize, like, we're bad for it. We don't really look into our safety stuff until we get back to the track and we're like, damn, we really did beat the shit out of the suit. We need to go ahead and get one order. And then another week goes by. No, not one order. Another week goes by. But now we got tied in with Alliance, so I think he told us 4 weeks on our suits whenever they come in.
Custom suits, embroidered logos on it, wherever, no additional charge. The lightest suit on the market, extremely comfortable, custom fit, unlimited colors. I mean, they're badass. So we have that right at our shop. We fit people up. We get them, drop ship them right to them. And we just keep like standard stuff. We're right by the racetrack, so our shop, Nasty Speed and Performance, is 4 miles. I think it's
we're 4.2 miles from Galat.
From Galat, so a lot of people come by.
I drove past it the other day.
Yeah, you gotta stop in, check it out. We got a whole storefront. We got sensors, Scarlet Solution sensors in there, a bunch of Holly stuff, Brian Tooley stuff. I mean, just fully stocked up speed shop, which you don't see anymore, which I think is cool. And then we do the fire safety stuff as well. So we're trying to be kind of like, drag racing is a very reactive sport. Like someone gets hurt and gets injured, and they're like, oh, we all need to go out and do this. So I try to make it a little proactive. I try to use like my influence. I'd say I'm an influencer. My influence to the best of my ability to do good for something. You know, if I can make a video and it convinces someone to go and get like a Simpson hybrid or a Hans, and they get in a wreck and it saves their neck, like I did my part.
Yeah, I mean, and I ran all that stuff last year. You know, 5-layer jacket, pants, gloves, helmet, and Hans. You know, I didn't have the shoes. You know, I need to get that. But because the first pair of shoes I ordered were like made for a midget. They were so narrow I couldn't even get my foot in there, and I don't have wide feet.
Yeah, you always want to go about a size up on the shoes.
Yeah, the
sure.
fire shoes are. I just got a brand new pair of shoes and they don't fit me, and I'm like, I can't post them up used shoes on Facebook, but I just paid $250 for these, and they're like one size too small.
Yeah, well, it's like the jackets are one size too big. You always got to order one size smaller than you are.
Yep.
The shoes, I guess now you got to order one size bigger than you actually are.
Well, not with us. Alliance Racer, we will custom fit you, and that you will be looking snazzy. And we can do, if you want to wear a tuxedo looking fire suit, we got you. You want to look like a farmer, we got you. Like, you name it, we got you.
You want to look like a plumber, we got you.
We got you covered there.
And I am a plumber.
Dude, that'd be.
We'll
talk about the marketing.
The crack on the back.
Dude, talk about the marketing.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the plumber's crack disguise shirt?
No.
So.
Do you have one?
I have a picture of one. I don't have one. But it's, you know, on the back of the guy's shirt, it's this very busty woman on the back, and then you realize the bustiness is just the guy's crack.
Oh my god!
Because that's just where she ends right there. It takes a second looking at it, and you're just like, wait a second.
Is that part of the job? Like, do you have to do that? Like, before you, like, yeah, I got to get to work, you loosen the belt up a notch?
Honestly, like, I actually buy, like, extra long shirts, and I have, like, good new belts that I wear. And it's, I mean, the reason that it happens a lot of times is, well, two reasons. One, half your plumbers weigh 300 pounds plus, right?
100%.
And that's mainly because, like, we're in the truck all day.
Yeah.
You know, and you're driving from one job to the next job to the next job to the next job, so you're eating fast food and candy and soda just to, like, keep yourself going to get to the next one. Most guys are putting in 12 to 14-hour days, right? And they're smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
Right? Horrible.
Damn, do they work storms?
Yeah, they sound like some guys that work for us.
Yeah, and then like the other part is we're just up and down all the time, up and down, up and down, up and down, right? And so pretty soon your shirt's untucked or whatever, and you're bending over to get under the sink, and there's your butt hanging out.
I feel like that's a job that doesn't get appreciated as much as it should.
That's
work right there.
People appreciate it when they're in crisis.
Yes. Oh, totally. That's me. I'm guilty of that. Mm-hmm. Our toilet at the shop be leaking. I'm like, yo, who do I know as a plumber? Come over here, help me.
Yeah, I'm a service plumber.
Yeah.
Actually, that's why I was by your shop, Billy Barnhouse. I was working at his wife's salon just down the street from you guys.
Yep.
So did up a couple things for her over
Well,
there.
that is definitely a job that doesn't get appreciated as much. So thank you for what you do.
Yeah.
Now we know if we have a blowout, we know who we're calling.
Man, I've got all the stuff,
Listen, I had to put a toilet in our toter, and that ruined me for life.
Mm-hmm.
That was rough, dude. That was rough. I don't know how. I give you credit for what you do.
Smells like money.
Oh, damn. Not to me. It smelled like my eyes were watering, and I about threw up the whole damn time.
Well, that's why you don't do it after Taco Bell night.
Oh, man.
You know?
Well, just imagine the toter. That, no pun intended, that shit's been sitting in there for a while. Like, you can't get that out. And we got a toter that's a workhorse. I mean, that thing just puts in work. We use it on storms as our mobile command center. It goes to the racetrack. It goes to concerts. I
know in 1 year, I put over 50,000 miles on just the toter itself.
Yeah,
running up and down the roads, chasing storms, going to concerts, going to NC State football, a little bit of everything.
And then I'm in there imagine me. I don't know what I'm doing, putting a toilet in there. It hasn't failed yet. So
No,
we're good.
It's not rocking or anything.
Did you use a regular wax ring or one of those stupid silicone wax rings?
I probably RTV'd it, honestly. Right stuff. That
yeah.
sucker, you pull that out, you got to put a new floor in the whole toter. Like, that sucker's
Pulls
not
the whole
going
subframe through.
not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's on there, and it works, and it doesn't leak, and we're doing good. So shout out to me. I might have if you need a hand, call me up.
I'd fire you instantly for back chatting the boss.
Yeah, guilty.
Yeah. I had a helper a little while ago, and he ended up not working out. Just he was not catching on or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like in the Princess Bride. It's like, well, good work today. Probably kill you tomorrow. It's like at the end of every day, if you're like, all right, well, you did okay today, so I'll probably fire you tomorrow. So see you.
That in like, to get back to drag racing, the hardest part to me with drag racing is the people. Sometimes a lot of times the people are the hardest part. There's a lot of drama, there's a lot of egos, there's a lot of stuff going on, and people can make drag racing pretty sour, pretty unenjoyable for me and for a lot of people, and that's like, it's tough. Like, my new thing now is I sit in my shop and I kind of stay in my corner and I work and try to mind my own business until I get on a couple group chats and start barking at people, and then
what? I don't know what you're talking about.
And that's just the end of it. I mean, that's it. I talk a little smack and then I go back to work, but you get to the track and you get some drama and working with people and stuff goes south, and people can be tough. Drag race is a tough industry. I don't think a lot of people understand that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the egos part that gets me, right? I got a little bit of an ego. We all do, right? And I'll talk shit to everybody, right? It's the guys who can't take it, right? They can't take any criticism of them at all. I had a guy, I'm not going to say his name because I just don't need to get into a fight with this guy, but he got brought up on the podcast, right? I did not know he had any problem with me, and I had no problem with him. And he got told that his name came up on the podcast, and he called me and said, if you do not remove my name from your podcast and any other episodes you've put out there, I will come to your house myself and remove it. And if you get in my way, I will stop you.
That's crazy.
And I was like, how big is your ego?
Yeah.
How fragile is your ego that you're going to call a guy that's like 20 years younger than you and tell him, how dare you say my name?
Yeah.
That's
wild.
And I never said anything bad about him, even in the podcast. In the podcast, I was like,
did you respond and be like, who's this?
Yeah. Well, I was like,
phone call disconnected.
Yeah. I was like, okay, cool, dude. Have fun with my Rottweiler. You know, and I removed him from that podcast, but I've said since then, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
I'm not removing anybody from the podcast. If you've got a problem with something that I've said, there's your seat.
Yeah.
Right?
Which, I mean, that's a completely normal response. And that's I don't understand, especially, it happens a little bit in racing where people are like, oh, let's fight. Like, dude, we're grown men here. Mm-hmm. If we want to race, let's race. If we don't want to race, don't race. If we want to argue, just say your words and be done with it. The fact that people are out here fighting over this stuff, crazy to me. And it's like you said, the ego. It's like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people think I have a huge ego, and really, I just like to crack jokes with my buddies and the people that I do know and associate with.
Well, if your ego did get any bigger, we'd have to let the hot air out so you could get into your car. Your helmet size is already too big.
Man, is it that bad? From the outside looking in, right? Because Logan, Logan said before, he's like, oh, I think a lot of people think he comes off as a pecker. Is that the case? Am I actually a pecker?
It depends on the day.
Man.
But sometimes you do. Sometimes you come off as a bit of an ass. But
and
it's
I
okay.
tell him that.
I know. I come off as a bit of an ass too. Well, so our buddy John Birch,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I was talking to him, right? And I think part of the reason he likes hanging out with me is because I'm not in awe of him,
Yeah.
right, at all. And like I'm not looking to gain anything from being a friend with him other than just hanging out,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he's talking to me, and he goes, I've never half-assed anything. And I was like, that's right. I've never accused you of only being half an ass.
Oh my God, Birch is a good dude. And Birch is flying now. I got to give Birch credit. Dude's flying, and car's badass, and he's doing great. And I'm happy to see it because like I've known him from the RPM days.
Yeah, so that's why I was talking shit online, was because you didn't come up and see what was happening at the start line when you guys agreed to split, right? It was you and Forrest.
There was
and
two other guys.
That Mustang.
Antonio.
Yeah.
Antonio in that truck.
Well, the truck was already up there, right?
Yeah,
he
Michael
wasn't part of the
Colley.
conversation, right?
Oh, okay.
So Antonio came up there on his golf cart and doesn't talk to Birch and doesn't talk to the guy in the S10, right? And just goes straight up to the guy running the race, the guy with the beard at the starting line,
Dave.
And he goes to him. He goes, "Hey, we all talked and we agreed we're going to split." Right? And me and Birch and the other guy are sitting there going, "We're part of all."
Yeah.
And we weren't in on this conversation.
Yeah.
Right? And we were ready to go.
Yeah.
The because it's a street car. It's
Yeah.
cooled down. It's ready to go. And then the guy with the S10, he knew his car was about to blow up, and he said that his transmission was boiling, and so he was like, "Oh, I'll jump in on the split."
Yeah, they had like some issue at the timing tower or something where like people didn't get by and they lost like 20 minutes of the 30-minute cooldown, and they were like, I know that happened to Forrest. We got back. We had an oil pressure sensor failure. We had oil pressure, and the car ran great. And it just like, I clicked that thing off at the 330 the pass before, and good God, that thing was flying. And I was like, I could just 330 this for the rest of the night. And I mean, even if the motor was hurt, that the bearing clearance on that motor, I could probably make 2 passes before it chunked the rods out of it. And they're like, "Do you want to run?" I'm like, "I mean, it's up to you." And they're like freaking out over their hot transmissions and shit like that. I'm like, "Listen, I'll do whatever you want." I was like, Logan gets mad at me. I'm a big fan of like, "Hey, it's late. Let's just load up and go home because I want to sleep." And that's what I said, and we split. But yeah, no, when we went down there, there was a lot going on. But I will say, it was the first time they ran the event. Way bigger turnout than ever. We weren't finishing it regardless.
Well, and from my point of view, which I can only give opinions on my point of view from the information I was given, what I heard was you had no oil pressure and you thought you'd broken an engine, right?
We don't break engines.
But
We fired it back
we
up
fired
about
that
3
thing-
times.
we fired it up.
Make sure.
yeah, but that's
how word
that,
spread.
That is the information I
Yeah.
got, right?
Yep,
That you
yep.
thought you'd broke it, right? But that information didn't come out until after hey, let's just split and all be fair here. And so what it looked like from the outside was, I just broke a motor and I want to get some money out of this. And so that's where I was doing my little bit online going like,
yeah. Well, in our defense,
really,
like,
guys? Like,
we did sponsor half the pot, so we weren't really looking to like. It wasn't about the money thing at all because we did put up half
We
the
don't
pot.
raise for money anymore.
Yeah, we don't raise for money. And honestly, I was winning that thing hands down with oil pressure or without. I was just going to send it because we already got a spare motor.
And a lot of people don't realize, like, a lot of racing programs, I mean, like Forrest and people like that, it might take them 30 minutes to turn around their stuff. I mean, we're pretty sporty, and we can have our stuff down to 100 degrees in about 15 minutes.
Yeah. Because when
yeah,
we test,
we run every 20 minutes.
We've
every
gotten
20
ghost
minutes on the dot.
down pretty quick too.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what you have to do. So, like, those other guys, like, it was just a lot going on for the first, the first one. I was just like, man, big car count, issue with the timing system, getting the tickets printed, people getting held up at the ET shack. We had a big wait before first round and then rushed the next 2 rounds. I'm like,
I think another thing is, like, the guys wanted to run the grudge race more than they wanted to
totally
try to run the shootout. And I was like, we didn't even realize that what happened until we're down there loading up the car, and all of a sudden they're coming down the track, and I'm like, they had a grudge race after the shootout?
Yeah, that's wild.
Well, those grudge race guys actually, like, they got called up like 10 times.
Oh, really?
Like, the track was like, get up here, and they all just wanted to spend their entire time arguing.
That's the nature of the sport.
And like, they blocked us from getting up there twice.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't get past them to do anything. And I'm like, I like and hate grudge racing at the same time, because, like, to me, there's so much money in it on a coin flip, right?
Yeah.
Because the fastest car doesn't always win.
Anytime you go down track, it's 50-50.
It's a 50-50.
Yeah.
Well, I actually describe it as a series of 50-50 coin flips,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who's going to get that tree? Whose car's going to stay together, right? Whose engine is going to actually live? Which lane is better, right? Like, it's a whole bunch of coin flips, right? And it only takes one of those coin flips going wrong for you to lose.
Yeah. No, that's the truth right there.
That's something else, like, I think a lot of people don't realize, but we as a team overall pride ourselves in being able to go down in any condition. Like, that's what we focus on. If you can go down in the heat of the day, more people are scared of you if you can only go down at night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with us, the later we get into the night, the harder we are to beat, for sure. If we get through first round, I mean, everyone knows first round's the hardest round.
107 degrees outside, if we can go down and make a pretty decent pass. I mean, I think a lot of people were shocked at Galad on that Thursday night because we went down and it was like 88 degrees outside.
Mm-hmm.
Went right down Broadway, and people were like, they definitely didn't expect us to go down first pass.
Well, it was a new setup. You'd go from the single to the turbo, the twin.
Yep.
Did you have some testing before then? Or?
We fired it up at 5:30.
I literally finished it at noon.
Yeah.
So I was a week behind because I blew my back
Your picture
out.
Almost got me, by the way. Got me for like a quarter of a second
With
having the three turbos.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yep. Yeah, no, almost.
It got a lot of people.
There's provisions for it if we need it, but we got done with it Thursday at noon. I got done with like the fab and everything bolted up, put oil in it. It was
Mm-hmm.
refreshed the motor, put new rods in it.
Service the transmission. Converter.
Yep, rebuilt the lockup and fired it up at like 4:30. Loaded it up in the trailer and went to the track. And we're like, let's just see if we can drive it down the racetrack, because like we changed the weight bias in it. You know, like we got some more weight on the front left. Is it going to drive funny? This or that? So it drove down the first pass and
with no power in it, kind of made a little bit of a move. But once we stuck a little bit of power in it, the next pass it straightened right back up on out. Went on straight down through Broadway.
No, I think Eric wanted to race you guys.
Yeah.
Eric Gold was definitely like, I want John Duck.
Yeah, he salivates over me. I don't know why, but I mean, he can like we're about like we've been working on all these cars for so long. It's been like a thorn in my side, and we're about to have like 3 like deep into the 3-second cars running, and then it's just like maintaining them. Like maintenance in Slick Rick's really not bad. It's just like take the motor out, freshen it up, put it back in. That's like a day.
So what I tell people is like if you're racing at the level that we're racing some of the faster cars, you want to at least allow yourself 25 to 40 hours to work on the car.
Easy.
That's nut and bolting it, going through the converter, transmission, engine. I mean,
so just our white car, like, so we get 10 passes on the lockup. So every 10 passes, you got to pull the converter out, put new lockup clutches in it. You get 35 passes on the rods. If you can go like 2 or 3 cycles of rods on the same set of pistons before wearing out the skirts and the rings, that's good. Your valve springs, you're getting like 80 to 100 passes out of. So you are like literally working on that thing all the time, just on the motor, let alone like you need to work on anything else. You crack a weld or this and that, and the rear suspension, gear, like that's just the motor maintenance. So it's a lot. I mean, if we race that car Friday, Saturday, we're working on it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, like guaranteed.
Getting it ready for the next week, and even like whenever we run multiple cars at one time, like it takes a full team to be there. There's been races we gone to, we ran 3-4 cars out of one trailer, and
it's miserable.
It's miserable, but I mean, we literally parked 2 cars in the finals at it. It's just part of it sometimes, you know. It's well worth it when it goes right, and if it doesn't go right, well, we're loading up and going home.
Yeah, I feel bad for tuners like Eric Gold, right? Where, especially at big events, he's got to have multiple cars going up against each other all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, he said he does his best for everybody. He gives them the tune that will get them down the track the fastest that they can go, and he's like, and sometimes it's been like him in the car against another car that he's tuning.
Yeah.
Right? And he said there's been a couple times where he knows that car's about to drive out of his life.
Yeah.
There's
nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing he can do about it,
See,
it's like the temptation would be, of course, knock a couple degrees of time and out before you go down there. He's like,
keep everyone happy.
Yeah.
I have like the culmination of like the best group of tuners and smart people ever. So like I think like our success and what we're doing racing is just getting started. Like I got Devin Vanderhoof wires all of our stuff, and he helps with the tuning. We go to the hub dyno with Kevin Mullins at TCAM Performance. He helps it with the tuning. We got Scott Sublet, who does all the motor stuff for us, and he helps with the tuning. And then we got Scotty Ray, who's at the track with us doing the tuning. All of those guys are like geniuses. Like the amount of years of drag racing experiences that you guys have is just insane. And just to have all these guys on tap, it's like a cheat code, honestly. And they're all smart and they're all great and they all bring something to the table. And just being able to work with all of them, it's like the like some of our the way our cars run, it's like unbelievable. Like you go over and you click the starter. Like we don't have primer pumps on our stuff. Like the startup tune on it, like the little things. Like you fire that thing up, and it's just like idling perfect. And you go and do the burnout, and it just perfect and goes back to idle perfect. Like these cars, like the little things that people don't understand, they get on the chip like unbelievably good. It's like it makes driving and racing for us so unbelievably easy. Like I can't thank those guys enough. And it's like it's a huge group effort. Like they all bring something to the table, and they're all amazing tuners independently. But when you have them all involved, you know, like we have enough cars that we can involve multiple people. But when they all get involved on these projects, it's just like it's insane.
And they all can communicate. It's the biggest thing. They're not. They can put things to the side and just talk to each other one on one and be okay with each other. They're not.
Yeah, it's for the end goal, the end result. Like we're trying to go fast and win races, and I feel like we put in a lot of work over the past really the past 2 years to get to where we are now, and like we're just at like the crest of the hill. Like we've put in a lot of the work, put in a lot of the time, learned a lot, grown so much as a program. We now have the right people in the right places, and like I think the success for our program, which we've been very successful before, but I think this new level of success that we're about to reach is like on tap. Like we're about there. Yeah. So I'm excited. It's going to be
so what's next? What's the what events are we trying to go to? You know, are there any series that you're trying to get into?
So we're gonna try to test. I think this week or next, right? The white car.
We're gonna do a little testing just because we don't have a lot of data on that. Would like on the radar screen, like FL2K, we would definitely want to go down there and win that. We want to win some Thursday night shootouts at Galat with like the black car. That's like primarily going to be running at Galat. The white car, run some Carolina no time stuff. I would definitely want to win one of Duck's races. That's like a long time goal. Like when I really got into drag racing, like I was freshman, sophomore in college watching Duck's race when it was free, betting quarters with my roommate Trey, watching Kevin Mullins make rips in like 2014.
Guaranteed if I ever win that Battle of the Thrones, that throne's going to go right there.
Yeah. No, that was so badass. And David Brinkley won that. Badass dude. I'm coming for you. I put another turbo on the card just to mess him up. But no, we want to do a lot of racing. We just want to, the smaller shootouts, like we're building a stock block car. Me and Logan are going to drive that, run some stock block races. But like the big things, FL2K, it's a great race. Vic and the guys out in Bradenton put on a great event. We want to support that, win that. I'd love to win one of Duck's races, and then just win some Carolina no time stuff. That's what I'd like to do, and I think we'd be successful doing it.
I think our next overall race we're going to go to is actual races Wednesday, July 3rd at Darlington, as long as it don't rain out this time. That's the next one on the schedule for us. It's like a $5,000 shootout on a Wednesday night.
Yep. In the level that we're racing at now, it's really like Pro 275. Like if you go out there with anything slower than like a bottom 390, high 380 car, you're in the way. And if you go out there with like a high 380 car, you still might be in the way. Like these guys are like
class filler,
flying. Yeah, I mean, you go out there. If we kept the LS and the Black Sheep going out there going 412, 418, 413, loaded up first round every time. These guys are just fast, and it's a cycle in drag racing where everybody will get really fast, and it becomes pretty much unattainable, and then it slows back down. Those classes get less popular and funnels to something else. But I mean,
it's like the 484 and the small block stuff. I mean, it fell off for 3 years, and now it's coming back around. Mike Hill's got a good program going, good point series. I mean, they have like 12 to 16 cars at every one of their races. I mean,
one, if you've got people sponsoring your stuff, they don't want to see you go out first round every time. You've got to, you don't need to win every single race you're in, but you need to go rounds.
Yeah, and right? I think that's funny. I did want to talk about that, like the sponsorship stuff. I support a lot of people, and I do a lot of parts sponsorship and work with companies. That's like my biggest thing, like to work with a company and run their product. It's easy to talk about their product on my YouTube channel if it's what I want to run and I believe in. Like Turbo Smart's a great example. Like I called them up and bought their turbo or their wastegates blow-off valves, and
I just got a set.
What's that?
I just got a set of Turbo Smart wastegates.
The baddest stuff you can get, gangster, and I talked to them, and they sent them to me, and they're like, hey, we know you got a YouTube channel. Do you want to try these? And they sent me another set, and I'm like, dude, this is so awesome because, like, that's gangster. I'll put those on another car, and it's the best stuff. It's easy to talk about. And I think, like, a lot of people want to get sponsored because who doesn't, right? Who doesn't want to get free parts? Like, I've never had a sponsorship, like a monetary sponsorship. I've never been like, hey, I'll run your sticker. Here's 20 grand. Like, I've never had that before. I've always just done these deals where it's like a marketing deal with a company. But it's, for me, it's so easy to do that because I have a platform with, like, data that I can say, like, hey, these are my views. This is my viewing audience. This is how many subscribers I have. This is my post duration. I post this many times a week. This is my overall reach. Here's my target audience. They're males that are 25 to 45 that are in the industry. And they're like, oh, well, that's pretty good. And then they do a deal with me and they instantly see the results, and then it leads to the next one and the next one.
I think another big thing is, like, a lot of times we purchase parts before we even
we don't really ask.
Yeah,
I mean, I've picked up a sponsorship deal for my car, for the engine. The engine builder, Hauser Racing Engines, is sponsoring us, right?
Yeah.
But part of it is because he's also somewhat learning a couple things on the car. So he's like...
It's a give and take.
Yeah, it's a give and take, right? He wants to get more into the Coyote market, right? I'm a 5.0 Coyote fanboy. I love those things, right? And that's fine because that's what I got when I got into this world of drag racing. That's just what I had.
Yeah.
Right? And they rev a lot higher. And, like, honestly, it's really hard to rule out a 302.
Yeah.
Right? It's easy to rule out a big block.
Yep.
It's easy to be like, if you have this size turbo, you can't be in it. A turbo flange or whatever, you can't be in it, right? A 302 with T4s is almost impossible to rule out of any class.
Yeah.
We used to have a 302 that made like 1,200. That thing was dangerous on the street.
Yeah. Almost killed a few people.
Yeah. So, like, we worked out a deal where he's building me an engine. I'm paying for all the parts. Like, he's not going to have anything out of pocket. But, he's doing the labor at basically free.
Yeah. And sometimes even it's like you get free shipping. That's like some of my stuff. It's like, this company works with me, like, give me 5% off and give me free shipping. I'm grateful for it. I'm going to buy the parts regardless. And that's, like, one thing that kind of, like, irks me with, like, a lot of people see us go out there. We got the YouTube channel. They think that, like...
all them YouTube money.
Yeah, they think I don't spend my own money on my race cars. I don't have a house. I mean, I don't really have a savings. I just put everything into my race cars. Like, I sacrifice a lot to have all these cars. And
have you never listened to Gordon Ramsay?
No, I don't really listen to anyone. That's my problem. But I put a lot into it. So when people are like, oh, well, people just give you all your parts. And it's just YouTube money. And, you got to, like, no, I bust my ass. Like, I work, like, 4 jobs essentially. I have 4 businesses that I run. I don't have. I mean, trying to get me up here was like, I felt so bad because I wanted to come up here. I want to help support local, support drag racing. Help out where I can. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm here. Sorry, I'm in Kentucky. Hey, I'm in Texas. Hey, I'm over here.
Did you like my response the last time you did it?
What?
When I texted you, I was like, hey, you around this week at all? And, like, it took you a week to respond.
It must have been last week.
And his response was, man, I suck. I'm sorry. And my response was, well, I know you suck, but I'm glad you came to realize it too.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it is. Like, I bust my ass, and I have, like, a great group of, like, people and mentors that help me in business and grow, and like, my family supports everything I do, and that's awesome. But, like, I sacrifice a lot and put all of my money, my time, and my effort into this. When someone's like, man, you should get all that YouTube money, you get that shit for free. I'm like, dude, only if you knew. Like,
I think people think it's a lot easier if you have a certain platform or something like that, but everybody goes through the struggles.
Yeah.
There's struggles every day. Like I said, John works long hours, I work long hours, all the guys around the shop work continuously. I mean, heck, last weekend I was down in Florida. This past weekend I was in Myrtle Beach doing jobs. And then I was working all week at my normal job. I mean, there's just 100 different things that go into it.
And we all work hard together because, like, we all have the same mindset. Like, we can all be successful together, and we all want to go to the top. Like, I don't want to go to the top and not have my boys with me. So we all work hard, and if everyone works together, we will all succeed together. And, like, I think that shows in business, and that shows in our race program, and it shows in life. Like Logan said, like, when we say, like, we're like family, like, we truly are like family. Like, we are around each other all the time, and when we're not working, we're doing our hobby around one another. And then when we go home, like, We might fire up Farm Sim and play Farm Sim till 2 a.m. from midnight to 2 a.m. with like the same guys I was just at the shop with all day.
Literally.
You need to bring back the smoking segments, by the way. When you guys were bringing the smoker to the track and smoking,
we can.
Now
that
we've got some data on the white car and getting it figured out, I think we'll be able to do a lot more.
Dude, you got to come to the track and try my butt. I got juicy butt, dude.
Yeah, I will not eat your butt.
Dude, it is. Tell them about my butt.
We smack it with some brown sugar every time.
But no lie, we do be cooking up at the track. That's like my forte. Is just like we go to the track. I got a pretty extensive menu. We got the Blackstone. We got the smoker out there. Just when we go to the track, it's supposed to be fun. Yeah. I don't want to go and race if it's not fun. So we're out there.
Next time I know you're there all day, I'll bring I make some banger smoked jalapeno poppers.
Oh.
So we'll bring some of those and throw them in the...
I'll let blow out in the toter for sure.
We start breakfast at like 7:30, 8 a.m. because we cook 64 eggs at one time.
64 eggs one time on the Blackstone.
1 pound of cheese to 64 eggs.
Yeah. Putting in work.
Oh,
but no, I mean, that's how it's got to be.
I mean, you can ask Forrest sometime. The only time he ever wins is whenever we cook him these dick cakes. So
yeah, we cook him a dick-shaped pancake, and he goes the winner circle. Guaranteed.
Every time.
Every time. We're like 3 for 3 on that.
I know.
And he eats it too. And the way he eats it, I don't want to do it on the podcast, but I mean,
I'm not monetized yet, so.
Well, they would definitely ban you from that.
They would, yeah. But sorry, you had John Dock on there one time, so.
Shout out to Forrest Scarlet Solutions. Makes badass sensors and eats dick pancakes.
We are planning on running the Scarlet Solution sensors on the car when we get her back up and running.
They're awesome. Highly recommend them.
Yep. Yeah. Kenny's a big fan of them.
Yep.
You know.
We keep them in stock at the shop, Benson.
Yep.
We got them if you need them. Hit us up.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, this has been a whole lot of fun. I feel like we just barely scratched the surface on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, dude, we just went off on like some... I have ADD, if you can't tell, so we just went down some rabbit holes. My man Logan does not pull me back in ever.
Nah, I'm just watching it, you know what I mean? From afar, I'm just like, yo, where are you going with this, my boy?
I feel like we answered 2 of his questions.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine, you know? It's because I don't have any set ones. Oh, yeah, I do want to ask one because I know Ernie loves this question. Mm-hmm. What's the craziest thing you guys ever had to do to, like, make it to the track? Like... Something broke, the car broke.
We blew the generator up pulling out of the shop in our toter.
No, that ain't it. That ain't it. The first time we raced the Black Sheep, we just got it back together. We had a dyno at the shop at the time. We worked a thrash on this car on the dyno. I forgot to turn the scavenge pump on.
2 a.m. in the morning.
2 a.m. in the morning, and everything was just polished from Dieter's Custom Finishing. Oil everywhere. So we wiped the whole car down. It's like... midnight, pick up the front end from Brian Fondren, just got painted, cutting it out to fit the damn intake, load the car up in the trailer. My man Logan drives the toter.
We've been up 4 days.
No lie, drove the toter from North Carolina to Bradenton. We unload, get the car up, put it on Projects. First time ever it's been on Projects. Look over the car, everything looks good. Never ran it before with the LS motors. We're like freaking out. Can't get it off the Projects. Finally, it falls off the Projects. We push it to the lanes. Miss last call. They say, all right, we'll send you down the last pass of the night on a Friday night?
Yep.
On a Friday night. So the car's never been down with the LS, just came off the dyno. It goes out there and goes like a 460 flat, which is the fastest I've ever been. And that was just like, we literally stayed up 4 days straight working on the car. Everything that failed and made it difficult to get there happened. Dude drives through the night like he was dead. The next day he was dead. And we got a picture at the top end of the racetrack with a 460 time slip with me, you, and Ben.
Yeah.
And that's like a core memory of drag racing. And then that weekend we ended up going to 430 with it. Like, just everything that could go wrong did go wrong. We battled through it, made it there. And that was the start
My man
of the
put
Black
it in
Sheep.
park at like 170. He took alcohol fumes to the face for a good first time.
Yeah, it was rough, dude. What a crazy learning experience.
Yeah.
I'll say, in my opinion, one of the roughest times was we were going to Red Springs for a $2,000 race, and we didn't have no business whenever we pulled out of the shop and the generator blew up. Well, we had to circle back, and we're pulling back in front of the shop, and the 18-wheeler comes by while John's inside the trailer and rips the trailer door off the trailer.
They thought I got
We
hit.
thought it took him out the trailer, but it ripped the door off the trailer.
So we go to the track with no door on the trailer, no side door, just gone.
No
Ripped it
generator,
clean off.
blown up generator. Win the race.
Yeah, we won the race.
Nice.
Yeah.
I do think one of my favorite arguments I ever saw you get in is when the door got ripped off of
Yep.
The Black Sheep
Down in Florida.
and you were like, I can see Leroy right there.
What is
You let that car run.
What do you have to say about Showtime Dragway?
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse track.
Logan was they were fighting. Everyone wanted us out of there.
Was that Showtime or was that Orlando?
It was Showtime.
Showtime.
It was Showtime.
We
Okay.
drove over from Orlando. We tested at Orlando for 2 days, and then we come over to Showtime because we hear they're having a race. It's like a Tuesday night.
$10,000.
Yeah, and they're like,
We show up. They're finishing the driver's meeting.
Yeah,
I
we
run
drive-
out the toter.
Mm-hmm.
Finishing the driver meeting. Mad as hell that we're there. We come off the trailer first round. V-Band broke for the bullhorn. So Bryce, he's like, we call him the LS Nasty bodyguard. This huge guy from down in Florida. Gets zip ties the V-Band tight enough to hold the bullhorn on. Like, the dude's the Hulk. We go out there, win first round. Go out there, second round, door comes off. All hell breaks loose. Logan's getting in arguments. There's some dude in the trailer trying to fight Ben. I let the lift down on top of the smart car and crack the windshield. Logan goes into diabetic shock, and we go home.
Diabetic rage.
Diabetic rage. And that was it.
You know what's crazy is, like, they're like, oh, the only reason y'all came down here was because y'all seen it was $10,000. No, we were just
wanted to
literally
race.
an hour and a half up the road. We tested all day, Monday and Tuesday. We wanted to come over here, enjoy ourselves before we made the 10-hour drive back home. And
We care less about the money.
Well, and so what? So what if you show up because it's a $10,000 race?
Dude,
right?
We don't even
Like,
care about
that's-
the money. I rather, if you just got a badass trophy, I'll just take the trophy. Keep the money.
I
we
have-
put
I
like
have
3
said that
tenths on the
before.
field.
Yeah,
and
I have said that before. I know Cooper Baghetti said it on his podcast before. If you're going to host a race, make sure the trophy is something cool,
Dude,
right?
Has to.
Like the money's great, right? But the money is spent before you've even left the track.
Some of these big races that we go to, like,
$2,500.
oh, I'm out of pocket. Like, we go to Georgia.
Mhm.
That's like I'd say like $6,000 to $10,000 weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how much it costs. Like, you get crew and everything like that. So, like, racing for money, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know Swanstrom did it at one point on his channel. He broke down what a pass, or not even a pass, a startup
Mm-hmm.
costs.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like $700
Yeah.
per startup on one of his cars, right? It's like, I understand this stuff costs money. My favorite quote I ever heard is, you know, the best way to get, you know, make a small fortune in racing is to start with a large one.
Yeah. You
You
want to
know?
make $1 million, or you want to make 100,000 racing, start with $1 million.
Yep.
That's
And
it.
people, I think people overlook at the price of maintenance.
Mhm.
I mean, maintenance is a big thing. We change oil every time we go out.
Every
We
6, 7
change
passes.
transmission fluid. The transmission fluid's what, $40 a quart or something
Yeah.
like that?
I buy that shit in a 55-gallon drum. I got
Mhm.
3 of them, 2 different oils and a thing of transmission fluid, and we're just pumping it out,
Yeah.
throwing it away. So,
Yeah.
but I'll leave you at this: we're building a car with 2 seats in it to go like 450s. So I don't know how fast you're going or when you're going to be ready, but we'll do a ride along whenever we get it done. It's going to the chassis shop tomorrow. Should be back in a couple weeks.
Mhm.
Got a motor, get it wired, build the turbo kit, and go racing. And we're going to win a race with 2 people in a car.
Yep.
But
Okay.
we're going to
That-
make a pass with you.
Okay.
All right.
And then
I'm jonesing to go back down the track, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting the shakes. I've been sitting on the sideline so long.
Yeah. Well, we're doing LS, so I don't know. You'll have to be okay with it.
Oh, I'll hold my
We'll,
nose.
we'll just put like earphones in and let you listen to Coyotes or something.
Yeah.
And single turbo stock block, like turned up. We're hoping to go like some bottom 430s, high 420s, but ride alongs 450s at like 160
just
miles an
imagine you're out there at the lot on a Thursday night and you lose to somebody. 2 people get out of the car. How mad can you be?
hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what if we put the trans brake on the passenger side and
You
you
just
could
need-
hold the trans brake and let it go?
You need to give the passenger a paddle, so that when they're going by somebody.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. But no, you'll have to do a ride along. We'll do a video.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give you guys a shout out on my YouTube channel because
really appreciate that.
I like what you guys are doing here, and anything with motorsports is good. Talking about it, racing, getting to know the people. There's a lot that I feel like you said, it's important to know the people behind the car.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
How long until this video comes out?
It'll be about 2 weeks.
all right, well,
Well-
lots of time to
Well,
plug.
there's going to be a lot of different things on the John Doc channel
I got
by
a
then.
video a day for 4 years, so I will be plugging you until it's out.
Okay, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know,
All
trying,
seriousness, there's going to be some big
We're,
things on the next few weeks.
Yeah, we're trying to get to the 1,000. That's our first, big milestone we
Yeah.
need to get to. And I've been on the 252 group chat I'm in, whatever it's called now. It started as the 252 rejects because we all got kicked out of David's group chat.
Mm-hmm.
And so Now, were you told the rules of the group chat before you were added to it?
You can't leave.
You cannot leave.
Which I'm fine with because I'm a pain in the ass.
So that actually started here on this podcast.
Really?
So Willie is the guy who started it, right? So we all got kicked out of the 252 group chat because David was just tired of it, right? Tired of all the bickering and stuff like that, right? So he kicked all of us out of the group chat. So Willie immediately started another group chat called the 252 Rejects. And as one person was getting kicked off the other group chat, he would just add them to his group chat. So just, and he added David last, the first question, David, why'd you kick us all off? And he's out. Right?
Add him back.
Well, so he let him leave. He let David leave. We all, bitched and complained in the group chat, why'd we all get kicked out? Oh, well, we're here. He can't control the conversation now, right? I had Willie sitting in that chair right there, and we were talking about it, and I, as a joke, said, what we should do as a joke is we should add David back, and every time he tries to leave, we just add him back, right? What that got translated to in the group chat is, now that you're in, everybody's in. Nobody's allowed to leave, right? And so we have people get added to the group chat, and the first question is, were you told the rules of this group chat that now that you're in, you're not allowed to leave? And they'll be like, no. I'm like, no, sucks to be you.
I'm gonna start leaving just so they have to add me back.
Yeah, and I would do it too. I've done it as well. I see somebody leave, I'm like, nope, rules are rules.
Yep.
You're back in. Because the funny part about Facebook is there's no way to block someone from adding you to a group chat.
Yeah.
The only way to block someone from doing that is to block the person themselves.
Yeah.
Right? So the only way for David to block all of us from adding him back to the group chat would literally be to block every single one of us.
Oh my God.
Well,
that's good. Oh, I enjoy that. That's a good group. I'm in a bunch of groups. I enjoy it. I think it's good. I like Talk Smack. It's like one thing people got to realize, when you're talking shit on Facebook, on Messenger, these racing groups, can't take that shit serious.
No.
I mean, I'd be barking at you. It happens.
Yeah. You did.
No, I'm not doing it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I got nervous. I thought about it, but I can't expose that.
You didn't even give the...
There you go. There you go. Watching my thing go crazy over there. Thanks a lot.
Hey, rest in peace, the headphone users.
Rest in peace, headphones users.
Send a bill to not our address.
Shannon Young at...
Yeah, Shannon's on here next, and he won't do no barking, but he will kneel down on here probably.
He'll stand like that.
We be on Shannon's ass.
And then he'll probably laugh like a hyena while he's on here.
There you go.
And just make sure you'll have his coffee cup too.
Yep.
All right, we gotta go.
Where's the best place for people to follow you at?
My Instagram, John_Doc1, and YouTube, John Doc, and my Facebook page, John Doc. I keep it pretty simple.
Okay.
So
And obviously the YouTube channel, John Doc.
Yep. I post a video once a day on YouTube. I try to post Instagram daily, and then we're just at the shop and we do storm work. If you guys got a 3/4, I gotta give a plug. If you guys give a 3/4 ton truck and like money, you need to hit me up. Hit me up on Instagram. We a lot of guys. I call it the Race Car Fund. A lot of guys that work for me find me for my YouTube channel. It's a great marketing platform. So 90% of the guys that work for me, all drag race, motorsports related, and we call it the Race Car Fund. They go out and work. We'll work some storms. They come back, boom, new turbo, new wheels for the race car. I got a new set of cylinder heads, and it's cool. I want to see everyone go out there and be successful. And
it's awesome to see the progress of other people's rides. Like
my boy Barry.
I think a lot of people also don't realize is we do a lot for the racing community overall, whether it be sponsoring races. We're sponsors of Darlington Dragway, Galat. But I'm not sure if you remember, guys, Mustang burned up out in Brian Fondren's shop. Mm-hmm. We gave him the old bad apple chassis, cut off anything that could be bad on it, gave him the chassis, so he's got a 25.5 chassis to start off on now.
We just want to see everyone go out there and enjoy it because it's brought me. Drag racing has brought me so far in life and met so many unique people and so many opportunities. I feel like
it's a family.
Yeah, and it really is, and not only with drag racing,
just functional family.
Yeah, any hobby that you have, just go all in and enjoy it, and it's crazy the journey it takes you on.
Yeah, a drug habit would be cheaper. I didn't say it would be better.
And I think the first time that I met you was we had a car show. Am I right? At our first shop.
Yeah, at the shop, I brought you. You signed the YouTuber thing I had on the front of my Mustang.
I signed his dash. It comes full circle. I knew I was going to get it.
Not the dash. It was not the dash.
It was something on the car.
The radiator guard.
Radiator guard. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew. I told Logan, I said, I'm going to get it out of him in this podcast that he said I signed it. Is it still on there?
It is.
That's why
it's downstairs right now. But yeah.
So it's no longer on the car. If you put it on the car, it should go faster, guaranteed.
I don't know. We started blowing stuff up right after you did that.
Damn.
So I snapped my first axle right after you did that. So
making horsepower. That's why. That's why.
Yeah.
But no, it's crazy. It comes full circle. Like you were supporting us back then by just going to our car show. So we'll do anything to support you guys.
Me
here.
and my buddy Nick.
Yep.
So, Logan, where can people follow you if you want them to follow you?
Wherever. I mean, it's like Logan K. Paul 97 on Instagram.
There we go. That's really what I was looking
Logan
for.
Paul on Facebook.
LS Nasty Logan. He has like a personal one or an LS Nasty related one. He won't plug the LS Nasty related one. Get with it. LS Nasty Logan. I made it for you, bro.
Is that LS Nasty Logan or is it LS?
If you just type in you type in Nasty Logan, he'll pop up.
Yeah.
The boy Nasty.
My other videos too.
Yeah. And as always, I am Nate the Fast Plumber, and we'll see you guys next time.
Appreciate it.
Don't forget to sign the hood before you guys head out.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.